So here we're in front of three works by Yoko Ono. Three crosses, very familiar to everybody, three crucifix installed in the park. It's a work that Yoko Ono wants people to participate with, to interact with. And it's a very simple interaction. You have hanging on the side of the cross, you have a hammer, you have a bucket full of nails, then you take a nail and you hammer the nail in the cross. That's it. Of course, it has a symbolic value, crucifixion, Christian tradition, belief system. So this work bring into this very simple gesture all these values, these symbolic. For Yoko Ono, there is also a very clear tradition in her work. In the 60s, she made a piece called Painting to Hammer a Nail. It was also a piece where audience was invited to participate. It was one painting on the wall with a hammer and nails, and the audience was invited to put a nail in the painting. By doing that, of course, there is, like here, a gesture of iconoclasm. You punch a hole in the painting. This gesture is violent. It creates a fracture. So on one hand, it could be seen as a gesture of defiance, of destruction, as I say, of iconoclasm. On the other hand, it's a gesture of participation. When you participate, you belong. So what she asks people to do is very ambiguous. Could be out of anger, like the scream, or out of love, respect, and faith, like a scream again. You decide. Most of what Yoko Ono asks visitors to do when they visit an exhibition is actually to decide to participate or not, to contribute or not, to have a voice or not. In this case, of course, it's force a conversation and a thought process that goes beyond just putting a nail in the painting because of the symbolic value and maybe the difficulty of putting a nail in a shape, an object that carries so much of value, an object that crystallizes so much of faith in the world, or actually hatred, or actually defiance in the world. An object that somehow defines and divide the world we live in. So we started this tour in the Serralves Park of the Yoko Ono exhibition with a work, a sculpture, which was a negative space with a mirror that welcomed the clouds and the sky, a piece that turned the world upside down and somehow, if you want, put the sky under your feet. Put the sky underground, but also put the sky at your fingertip. And it was a gesture that, again, as it happened so often with Yoko Ono's work, that goes against conventional wisdom. The sky should be upstairs. The sky should be an elevation. But by doing this little shift, a little bit like the door that we entered by lowering yourself. A door located in the middle of nowhere. A door that one could say open to nowhere. Yoko Ono really changed our perception of the world around us. And in this way, for me, there is a little bit of Lewis Carroll and Alice in Wonderland when you visit this exhibition. Your senses, your experience, dimensions, your relationship to space, to narrative, to nature is affected. Here, towards the end of the exhibition, well, we loop the loop. And maybe the sky is taking his rightful space again. The sky is back above us with this piece called To See the Sky. It's a little bit like the door again. It's an element of furniture, an object, a space, a function that we all know. But this function has been affected a little bit. And the goal of the function, the finality of the function is really up to you. It's again about expanding your field of perception. In the exhibition inside the museum, you have an apple. The apple is more than an apple. So this staircase is more than a staircase. It's a staircase to see the sky. So visitors here are invited to climb, but to climb where? That's really up to us to decide, because the staircase is not leading anywhere. Or the staircase is leading everywhere. As we say, sky is the limit. And I think when it comes to perception, when it comes to art, when it comes to everyday creativity, if you want, but only if you want, sky is the limit. If you go into exhibition, you will see a poster by Yoko Ono that says, it's a very well-known poster, war is over if you want it. Sky is the limit if you want it. It's an invitation to have a totally open attitude to the world. Everything that comes is a possibility. Of course, it goes back to a relationship and respect and admiration for the artist and the musician and the composer, John Cage, who brought into the writing of music the notion of silence, the notion of chance. Everything that happens is part of music. Everything that happens is part of life. Everything that happened to you is part of you. So this staircase that leads to a limitless world is what she invites you to experience. Of course, when you agree with this quote-unquote contract, it's not necessarily comfortable. Infinity is not comfortable. Assuming freedom is not comfortable. Assuming of worth, entering a world of infinite possibility is opening everybody to a risk, to take a chance. And that's a little bit, again, what this work is about. You can climb, you can touch the sky, you can see the world better from an higher position. And it's also, I think, what is intended by this work, that for me, I think for her, art is an elevation. When you experience art at its highest level, you elevate yourself. And everything we do here is about that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I will try to lift myself from the world and elevate myself. One of the great things about it is that when you're upstairs, you can see in my office too. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to climb the stairs. I will tell you what the sky feels like, looks like, smells like. I will see you on the other side of the sky. So there is something also very strange that happens, because usually when you go high, people below you look smaller. Actually, when you climb Yoko Ono's stairs, the world below you looks bigger. Don't ask me to explain why. That's what art does to you. It makes everything looks deeper and bigger.